Welcome to CarPal. My name is Vignesh Ramakrishnan. The Hyundai i10 Nios and the Volkswagen Polo are very interesting cars, and in fact too interesting to be ignored in the 7.5 lakh to 8.5 lakh budget bracket. Now what's also intriguing is that these are very different cars and they have very different personalities, and these are what could help you figure out which car to buy. But before all that, it's very important to one, figure out what exactly your preferences are, because these form the foundation to your whole car buying exercise. And number two, figure out how different these two specific variants are, the Volkswagen Polo Comfortline Plus and the Hyundai i10 Nios Sportz. Having said that, let's talk about a few parameters that could basically be what we call decision influencers. Here's what. Number one, space. Granted, the Volkswagen Polo is not a very spacious car. It's actually quite a cramped car, even though the exterior dimensions could sort of be very similar to the i10 Nios Sportz. But having said that, it's also a very old car in the market, therefore it's not exactly up to the mark when it comes to interior packaging. Thankfully, the Comfortline Plus does not get rear AC vents, because that could eat further into the already cramped rear legroom and therefore make it very uncomfortable for the rear occupants. When it comes to the i10 Nios, it's a lot more recent car in the market, and it's also very cleverly packaged. So you would find that you have a lot more knee room, you'll have a lot more leg room, you'll have a lot more shoulder room, and given that it's actually a taller car than the Polo, you will also have a lot more headroom. What's also important is that you have a lot more glass area in the Nios, and therefore you get a lot more natural light into the cabin and makes it feel a lot more spacious. So essentially, if you're looking to buy a car that's mostly for yourself, for you to drive, then the Polo would do just fine. But if you're looking to move 4 or 5 people in the car, the Nios is a more practical choice. Point number 2 is driving enthusiasm. Now, if you're someone who believes having a bigger engine would basically mean better driving experience, the Polo is here to prove you wrong, because the 1 litre MPI on the Polo is very inferior when it comes to the 1.2 Kappa on the Hyundai i10 Nios. But having said that, it's got a trick up its sleeve. It's got an amazing 5-speed manual gearbox. Now this gearbox, it's got amazing gear ratios that would make you feel like this engine is able to keep giving you power all through the time. Engine and gearbox aside, the Polo is also a very interesting car to drive because it's got very different suspension tuning and also has an amazing steering response, which a lot of other cars don't get. And when it comes to the Nios, and once a novelty factor ceases, you would soon realize that the car is a lot more comfort oriented than enthusiasm oriented. You get really light power steering, you get very cushy suspensions, and basically everything in the car is sort of tuned to making sure that you have a more comfortable driving experience than a more enthusiastic driving experience. So basically, if you're someone who's a driving enthusiast, the Polo is a car that could connect to you really well when compared to the Nios. Or if you're someone who's looking for a commuter car, the Nios works perfectly fine. Point number 3 is the features. Now, if you think Hyundai is winning this fair and square, it may not, because the i10 Nios Sportz and the Volkswagen Polo Comfortline Plus are very similarly packaged, right? They are almost up there when it comes to the features that they offer, and I'm going to be very careful. These are going to be impactful features, because these are features that could matter, that make a difference to you, to the car, and why you want to buy it. If there is one feature that the Nios Sportz gets and the Polo Comfortline doesn't, it's the touchscreen infotainment system that supports Android Auto, Apple CarPlay, and also has the reverse camera's display on it. Now, on the other hand, the Polo gets a few things that the Nios doesn't, right? And that's going to be, one, slightly bigger alloys, right? These are 15-inch alloys when compared to the 14-inch ones that you get in the Nios Sportz. Second, you get adjustable seat headrests when it comes to the front and rear seats, whereas the Nios doesn't get it. Nios gets it only for the rear. And third, it's also the steering adjustment, because the Polo gets tilt and telescopic, the Nios gets only tilt. So basically, there are some feature differences when it comes to smaller things that could make or break your decision to buy either one. Point number 4 is service. Now, service is a very sensitive and tricky topic. Hyundai service centers are practically all over the place. You get probably one in every pin code that in every major city. Whereas when it comes to Volkswagen, it's probably 3 or 4 service centers for the whole city. Naturally, because the volumes are also significantly lower than Hyundai. But what's also important is the cost for service, because Volkswagen's cost is actually a little more expensive. It's around 30% more expensive than Hyundai when it comes to service, spares, and even labor. So naturally, the market confidence for Hyundai cars are slightly more than Volkswagen cars. Point number 5 is resale value. And let me admit this, the Polo is not a very easy car to sell, because the Polo buyer, especially when it comes to the used car market, is looking to buy only the Polo and nothing else. Whereas when it comes to the Nios, this buyer is looking to go around multiple things and look around multiple cars and finally close in. So it's a more incidental discovery of the Nios, whereas a little more focused discovery on the Polo. So naturally, the resale value for the Polo could be a little lower, because most dealers who are looking to buy these cars may not offer great value for it. But if you're looking to sell it directly to another person, you may get a good resale value. That's about it. Thank you so much for watching. And if you're looking to buy a new car, do check us out. We are CarPal at trycarpal.com. We are a virtual dealership that can help you figure out which car to buy across brands, across models, and also buy it online with the best of transparency, convenience, pricing, and most importantly, 100% digital contactless experience. Have a great day.